All right, so thanks for joining me. I am Danielle from Maven Shift, and my goal is to teach you guys a lot about a way to kind of get ahead of things. So I'm gonna do put makeup on because why not, right? I like to multitask because I've got things to do, and so do you. Anyways, story time. So I'm going to teach you a little bit something that a lot of people don't think about anymore, or don't even realize it's happening in today's world, but they're wondering why it is they're not advancing. So what I'm going to teach you a little bit about is etiquette. Yeah, etiquette. Etiquette is really important these days as they were before. But what I want to teach you is a little bit of where it came from. What's the history of it? So back long ago, I believe it was the 1600s, the French had, their kings and queens and their palaces and their castles, and then they had people visiting them, and they realized that people just didn't know how to behave when they were around them, or should I say, they didn't understand how the king and queen want to be treated. So what they did was they actually went ahead and got these like little papers or cards, and they put them on the table. So whenever like people visited, they would say like, this is how you're going to behave with me. This is how you act. And in my presence, I mean, I don't know, which seems like it's a good thing to do. Because, when people do this, you know what's expected. And so anyways, that's what they did. And so every time someone came around, there a place on their little table or entryway were like these rules of how you were to behave. And basically that's how etiquette began. That's how it began. Basically, right, everyone knows how to behave, right? And so turns out that a lot of people freaking liked it. They thought it was pretty cool. And so what they did was it started spreading, fast forward, it starts spreading through Europe. And people realized like, hey, this can help, like the more you know and the more you know how to behave in certain company, kind of like puts you in the higher class kind of status. So, people started adopting this culture this way because obviously it kind of started teaching or like showing what class you were, because classes were important, right? Back in those days. I mean, technically they are still today, believe it or not. Classes still exist, but definitely like it helped them, and then it helped their children in the future too, right? Because if they knew how to behave and they were accepted into these higher societies, they had more chance of success, right? So that's what started happening. So they just kind of like spread through all of Europe. So fast forward to today. Obviously in the 1800s and early 1900s, it spread over here. If I can get this open. It spread over here to America, and we began adopting the same things as well. Once again, it helped kind of determine your class, your status in society. Okay, so people began using it, and obviously there's like courses and there's things like there's finishing school. All these things are really important because once again, what is the purpose? It actually began to allow people to basically show their class, that they're higher level, that kind of thing. Okay, so why does it matter today? So here we are today, right? And and a lot of people think, well, etiquette is dead. I want to say that's probably one of the biggest things that you hear fairly often is that etiquette is dead. Nobody cares about that. Wrong. Okay. So there is our poor class that we have right now. right? So there's the poor community, right? Then there's our middle class, and then there's our wealthy, right? Our wealthy people. And I think a lot of people don't realize is that there is a difference in behaviors when it comes to all those classes. And it's not anybody's fault, or it's just because of what somebody was taught. But living in this great, awesome country, no matter who you are or what you were born into, you are actually able to still thrive and become one of these wealthy people, okay? Through education, through opportunity, things like that. Now, a lot of people are asking themselves these days, like, why am I not advancing? Why am I not progressing as fast as I would like to progress? And it's actually pretty simple. It's in our behavior. And you can take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt, right? Or you can utilize it. You know, take what you think would be helpful to you, and then, like, you know, toss the rest. I don't care, because it's your life. You do what you want. And you can choose to believe me, or you can choose to not believe me. But what I do know is that with my own experience, the more I am able to present myself in a certain manner, the more people are welcoming to me, the more opportunities I have, and I just fly. I fly in whatever position I hold, because I know how to hold myself. And that is something that I think a lot of people just aren't taught.